You almost broke me. I almost cried there. I was trying everything. I was trying. No, but it's why this organization has heart and matters, right? Hello and welcome to Airdrie Inside. I am your host, Chris Glass. I am sitting here with John Lageneau from the Kalix Legacy Foundation. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
One of the reasons why we started this show, we talk about it all the time, is to shed some light on some stories and some people behind the scenes here in Airdrie that make our community better and make Airdrie such a special place. I've been here 16 years. This is my home. I love it, and I know you do too. And you share a passion for our community, and I wanted to highlight your story because you're doing some great stuff. So, John, welcome to the show. I'm really glad to have you here.
Thank you.
John, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you started your foundation?
Okay, so I'm the president of the Kalix Legacy Foundation.
Right.
We've been in Airdrie since 2007. We moved here from Cold Lake, Alberta. We started the foundation because my son had a huge passion for coaching all different sports, and this is what he wanted. And he was looking into how to start a charity before he passed away. So in order to carry on his legacy, this is how we decided to honor him.
So in conversations with your son, what motivated him to want to start a foundation and a charity? That's not something that most young people are motivated to do. What was his motivation?
So growing up, we lived in a separated family. So when he was at my house, he had the best of everything. I was able to afford to put him in World Pro goaltending, explosive edge goaltending training,
right?
Whatever summer training there was, any sports he wanted. He played baseball, soccer, football, volleyball. So he was able to get the best training out there at my expense, but in his mother's house, his mom has 3 other boys, and it was a different situation. She wasn't able to afford any of the training or any of the extras that he was able to have. So he would spend the time with his brothers in the basement and train them. And 2 of his brothers out of the 3 are goalies as well.
Okay.
So, and there's a huge lack of training in minor hockey for goalies, especially 10 years ago.
Right.
So he would teach his brothers on the outdoor rinks what he was learning in his training, and then he also volunteered as a coach on his brothers' teams.
Oh, wow. So coaching and sharing was kind of in his blood.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, a lot of people don't, unless they're involved with hockey or even the sport I coach, football, you don't have an appreciation for how much money actually goes into it. Even a sport like football where you don't own all your own equipment, it's expensive. And what can you give me an idea of what it would cost for a goalie to be involved in competitive hockey? What does that cost?
So if you're playing like the regular tiering stream or travel hockey, you're looking at a registration fees around $1,500.
Wow.
Equipment, if you're buying used pads and blocker and glove, anywhere depending on the shape of them from $200 to $2,000 used.
Right.
Goalie helmet, you're looking for a good solid goalie helmet. It's one of the most important things you need because there's a lot of pucks flying at your head. you're looking at $200 to $400 for a goalie helmet. You're probably looking at $2,000 to $2,500 just to equip a goalie in decent gear
Right.
that fits them properly. And then if you're competing at a higher level, then you're looking at training, and you're looking at private training.
Right.
So private training, you're looking at, on average, it's about $100 to $125 an hour.
Wow.
And if you're high level, you're doing that twice a week. If you're say lower or mid level, you're doing it once a week. So the cost adds up.
Now, this is where foundations like yours come in to kind of help fill the gap. There's some great work being done by Jumpstart and Kids Sport. But talk to me a little bit about what your foundation does.
So we're very similar to Jumpstart or Kids Sport in that we provide funding for registration
Right.
once a year for Airdrie kids for Airdrie sports.
Wow.
So we're just for Airdrie. That's what it separates us from Jumpstart and Kids Sport.
Right.
We can also, on top of that, provide funding for equipment above and beyond the fees.
Right.
So with Jumpstart and Kids Sports, you apply for them first, and then if it's hockey, the Hockey Canada Fund, and that'll usually cover about $1,200 of the fees, and we'll cover the remaining up to $500 unless there's special circumstances. Like
Right.
if you're in an elite sport, we welcome elite athletes to apply as well. Say you're playing for the Extreme, or you're playing AA, or you're playing for the Bisons. We allot more money to help cover those fees, because usually that's where we're losing a lot of our talent, is at the high end because of the cost.
Right. So talking about cost and talking about that, like when you apply for Jumpstart, when you apply for Kids Sport, both great organizations. But what I really like that's going on in this city, and we've highlighted it with a couple other areas, is there are great local charities, great local causes that are doing really, really great work. Our very first guest was Mike Reist, and he talked about Adopt-A-Grad. And when you give Adopt-A-Grad money, there's a real sight line to Airdrie kids getting help. And I love that about what you're doing, because this is by Airdrie for Airdrie, and it's supporting our community and lifting up our athletes. So that's really exciting to me that's going on in our city. So I have to ask, tell me about the logo, because I see the logo everywhere. I see it on your cup. As a diehard Flames fan, my first reaction is, oh no, it's an Oiler fan. But then I see Kalix's name, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. So tell me how you landed on the logo.
So in 2006, I got my first tattoo.
Okay.
And it was the three things I love. Kalix, hockey, and the Oilers.
Okay.
So I am a diehard Oilers fan. So that is my very first tattoo that I got in honor of the three loves of my life. And when we decided to launch, we decided that we would integrate my three loves with the logo. So that's how it came about. It doesn't mean that we don't appreciate the Calgary Flames or their organization, because we actually do work with the Calgary Flames alumni. We also work with the Stampeders alumni, and
excellent.
And they're great. They're great organizations, and they do so much for their community and for the people in the community.
Right.
So we do appreciate. And without the Calgary Flames, we wouldn't have the rivalry wouldn't have the Alberta rivalry that we have. So
It's funny. I grew up my whole childhood hating the Oilers, but appreciating the fact that we had a team to hate. And then I don't know if you remember in the 90s, well, I'm sure everybody remembers, but when they were making the playoffs towards the end of the year, maybe it was early 2000s, I'm not 100% sure, but there was rumors that the Oilers were going to be leaving Edmonton and the Flames were having trouble. And I'm like, well, I hate the Oilers, but they can't go anywhere. Like, we need them so we could keep beating the crap out of them. And the same kind of thing was going on in Edmonton, where they're like, you can't lose the Flames either. So those sports rivalries always kind of bring out the best in the two cities.
That's right. It does.
So, you touched on it. I don't want to go too heavy into it, but you've turned a tragedy into something that's going to uplift a lot of people and do a lot of good work. How did you get there? How did you get to that point where moving past a tragedy in order to do some good?
I think it was from a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
So.
And take your time. No, take your time.
We also have a good story that's come out of our other children. They both were sick to the point of we almost lost our daughter in 2020. 2000 and. Trying to think. Sorry.
That's okay.
2012. She got sick with invasive group A strep, and she got sepsis from it.
Wow.
She coded for 30 seconds. She had to be hooked up to a heart and lung bypass machine. So, obviously, I fight the trauma.
Right.
But what came out of the trauma of almost losing our two youngest kids to the same sickness was we were able to work with both the Alberta Children's Hospital and the Stollery Hospital in helping them raise money. They asked us to come out to their fundraisers. We did originally started doing speeches for them, and then we started doing our own fundraising for the Alberta Children's Hospital. We launched the Stuff and Ambulance here in Airdrie.
I remember that.
Yeah, we ran that for about 4 or 5 years. I had a poker tournament that we ran out of the Grey Eagle Casino for 2 years. And we did lots of different events throughout Alberta between the two hospitals. We did Radiothon here in Calgary 3 times. We did the Radiothon in Edmonton for the Stollery twice. So with that kind of gave us the experience that helping others and giving back and approaching the trauma head on really helps you deal with it in a better manner, in a more positive manner.
Right. Because you can go 2 ways with it, right?
Yes, and you definitely can.
Having something so strong that can do such good work helps through it.
Yes.
Wow.
That's correct.
So you have had to be very strong in your lifetime, it seems. So with sick kids and what you've been through. What's the next step for the future, right? Because this charity is starting to really get some legs in the city. Where do you want to see it go?
So Right now, we're focusing on just growing it here in Airdrie.
Right.
We've added a few different things. So right now, our main program is to help kids register for sports
Right.
and get them safe, clean, proper fitting equipment,
Excellent.
so that local youth can play local sports with no barriers.
Right.
We also have a scholarship program that we started last year, which was another one of our goals. And what it is one local grade 12 student, athlete student, can be nominated, either peer nominated or coach nominated, only at Croxford right now, just because that was Kalix's school. But in the future, we hope to grow that to all 3 high schools.
That's
and
excellent.
if there's more high schools, we hope to grow it to there. But we want to make sure it is sustainable, so it's not one and done.
Yeah.
So that's why right now it's only one school. And then as the years go on and our finances grow, that we can expand it.
Right. Sustainability must be such a big focus when you're just starting out, when you're a nascent foundation. So how do you make sure as you go forward that you are sustainable?
So we have meetings every 4 months, and we review our financing every 4 months, and we see where we can cut and where we can gain, how we can raise more money.
Right.
With the different events we do, who are new sponsors we can get aboard, and what is necessary, what is not necessary.
Right.
for our organization. So it's a lot of learning, because yes, we've done a lot of fundraising in the past for the Alberta Children's Hospital, but we've never had to be financially responsible
Right.
for where the funds go and all that. So we've had to limit, actually, this year, because we had to change how we give out the money this year, because before it was unlimited, but last year the amount of kids we helped doubled
Yeah.
from the previous two years. So the more kids that need help, the more we have to look at it and make it more sustainable. So before, if there was $1,000 left in your registration fees, we would cover it.
Right.
Now we're restricted to $500 a year, which is the same as the Hockey Canada Fund or the Jumpstart.
Yeah.
So last year we only ended up with an extra $3,000 after we helped all the kids. So we really have to be very financially responsible,
Right.
in order to be sustainable.
Well, and let's do our best to help with the sustainability, and let's hope that our listeners, I'm looking at you, camera, can help out here and help keep this organization going. How can we help you raise money? How can people be a part of the Kalix Legacy Foundation without joining the board or anything like that? What can we do to support you?
So without joining the board, people can donate straight to our website.
Okay.
It's nice and easy. You just click on the donate button and you fill out the paperwork or the donation form. And there's also we take credit card, direct deposit. We also have cash donation boxes,
Right.
at Eastside Sports and at Explosive Edge. You can also get a hold of us, email us, and let us know how you would like to get involved. We also have several different events through the year. So upcoming, we have the Kalix Legacy Foundation Charity Classic, which is a golf tournament.
And I've heard this is something else. This golf tournament is turning into a big deal.
It's a lot of fun. We have out celebrity players. We auction them off before the golf tournament, so you can play with ex-NHL players,
Podcast hosts.
Yeah, ex-NHL players.
Okay, no, better than that. Okay,
yeah, that we've had in the past. So we've had Stampeders alumni,
Excellent.
Flames alumni. We also have like a pro hole where you can pay the pro to drive for you to kind of help your team.
Oh, wow.
And then we also have some celebrity teams out there. So we've had the Stamps alumni have a team in there, and then we had local boy Ty Ratty came out with his friends, and he played in it. He's been a great supporter for us.
So you're gonna have to dish a little bit. Who is the best celebrity golfer that you've seen come through here?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to say it's got to be Ty, because they won last year. So,
but it's not fair. He knows the course.
yeah,
He's familiar with it.
Yeah, I would say not because of his golfing ability, but because he's so lively. Butch Caston.
Yeah.
He was, the guys who golfed with him enjoyed it so much. He's a huge character. Like,
right.
Oh yeah.
Well, and it's fun to see events like that in our area that's helping our kids and our causes. We talked off air about me being a football coach, and just the difference sports can make in a youth's life is just astronomical. And I've seen an increase in kids who can't afford it. And helmets used to cost $250 for football. Now a helmet that needs to be recertified every year is costing $600-700. So the costs are going up. There's a limit to how much we could raise fees. So there's a huge need for this in our city. So I really appreciate what you're doing from a coach's point of view, because it helps make our games more accessible to youth. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I wanted to pick your brain on something. I didn't talk to you this off air, so feel free to tell me you don't really have an opinion, but we're about to have a new rec center here in Airdrie. They're just planning it. What would you like to see from the arena?
From the arena?
Yeah.
I would like minimal 2, but we should have 3 rinks minimal. The amount that Airdrie's growing, and most of it is young families. So it's not something we don't need. Like, we need it a lot, like very badly. Already Airdrie minor hockey is restricting the numbers. We can't get the ice. My youngest son plays hockey, so I know the challenges of hockey, along with other things. My kids both also took swimming lessons, which is another restriction here in Airdrie. We need a 50-meter pool. In order to bring in the major meets and competitions, we need the proper facilities. And as a city our size, we should have it.
Yeah, I mean, you're preaching to the choir. I talk about sports tourism all the time.
Yes.
Just because I think we lose a lot of money in our city going to Calgary where they don't really need it, right? Like events in Calgary, I know my experience with Football Alberta, a lot of times it's not very accommodating.
No.
They don't open the doors. Whereas here, like an event that fits 2,000 people at Genesis Place brings an incredible amount of development to our city and money. And, places like we are here at Glitch Gaming, who's hosted us quite graciously today. We need to fill these venues, right? And those facilities help us do it. Every swim meet brings in people to our city. And so I'm glad you said that, because it's right in my wheelhouse here for something that I truly believe in, which is keeping Airdronians out of Calgary on the weekends.
That's right. And, there's a few other things that it definitely needs. Like, Airdrie is in need of a soccer dome as well. Like, Airdrie minor soccer we have to... in the wintertime, we're playing out of gyms. We have to, every game is held in Calgary.
Yeah.
We don't play in Airdrie whatsoever because we don't have the facility here.
When I say we, but when the Raiders, the Airdrie Raiders spring football team a couple years ago convinced the league to have a home game here, I haven't seen a regular season game with that many people in the stands. That place was rocking and rattling, and you could see the kids playing at home. Last year we had the Pee Wee teams play at home, and just to be on an Airdrie field as an Airdrie team meant the world to them. So I want to make sure that we have that for all of our sports, not just the one I'm coaching. You know, we should have it for the swimming teams and the hockey teams as well.
That's right. Airdrie's in need of a lot of updated facilities and more of them.
Before you go, John, can you give us the website? We're going to put it in the show notes. So anybody who's following along who wants to donate, and I strongly encourage you to, go to the link. But if you could give us the website, we'll post it right up right now.
Yes, it's kalixlegacyfoundation.com.
Excellent. John Lageneau, this has been absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the show. And we'll be back with more episodes from Airdrie Inside here at Glitch Gaming. Thank you so much.